Today's guest is someone I've known since our teenage years, but only truly connected recently through the magic of Instagram. Her name is Farah Amalina, and when we finally met for brunch, we basically forgot our phones existed, and we had a bunch of texts from her husband, and a parking coupon has also expired. Now, Farah's story is full of surprising shifts, from being the mom who couldn't wait to return to work, to choosing a gentler pace, from corporate life to supporting daughters who dance competitively, and so on. This conversation is about changing direction when the old one no longer fits, and discovering who you are when you finally allow life and motherhood to move at the right pace for you. Hi, Farah.
Hi, Huda. Thanks for having me. And I feel very lucky that parking ticket
It was okay.
not
Okay.
translate to a fine.
Right now, what excites you when listening to this?
Bit, but very different things. That's a good question. Even though I've stopped working for 1.5 years now.
Congrats.
Thank you. Is it something to celebrate? I'm still questioning that, by the way.
Fair.
But I'm definitely happy where I need to be right now and where I want to be right now. Wow, your question is actually more loaded because I start to think about where do I begin about. So firstly, what excites me, what excites me then, and what excites me now. But then to just be to the point, I think to really be there every step of the way for my family. That's not just for my 2 daughters, but also my husband, my parents. I have more capacity, time to also take care of them. Because when we talk about family, you usually now think about our nuclear, right? Our children, our marriage. Some of us may unfortunately not have our parents anymore, but I do, luckily, and they're just at that stage where they need help.
Yeah.
Or they may not say it, but I'm sure they appreciate it, I hope. I feel very lucky that, okay, I think this is just where I need to be. And it excites me knowing that I can be present for them. Previously, when I was still working full time, it's not that I'm not there for them. Of course, when someone needs me, I am going to try and be there for them. But it would have very likely been in a very distracted manner.
Yeah.
Like, okay, my kid has parents coming to school day, for example. I'll be sitting in a classroom, but I'll probably still be like
Yeah.
right? Or, oh, if my dad needs to go to the hospital, I'll be there. And I only look up and spend time with him when we're in the doctor's room and the doctor's saying something, then I pay attention.
Yeah.
You know, now I can actually bring him out to go eat, go eat his favorite food, you know, or does he want a treat? You want an ice cream? Hey, you want yeah. And I treasure those moments because I think growing up, I never thought that I would be in this position to do that. But then one other thing is also what am I excited about outside of all that, my interests and stuff. I definitely have then more time to carve out for things I enjoy. I actually enjoy working out a lot. Just simple things, Pilates or yoga, or even just doing long walks. I've been doing long walks since I gave birth to my firstborn in 2020. So that was just before the lockdown period. And there was nothing else to do.
Yeah. No reason to go out, right? Besides groceries and walks and going for walks.
Yeah. And so it was a combination of that, the dealing with COVID, dealing with fresh 4th trimester, postpartum things, and then for a firstborn, so you don't know what the heck is going on. And then 3, also related to the postpartum thing, not liking my body post first pregnancy. So not having to work has allowed me to keep up those interests that I've liked ever since my first maternity.
Maybe it's a gender thing. When we work, our mind is really quite occupied. We compartmentalise less efficiently compared to men. What do you think? Do you think could it be a gender thing?
Yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from because I feel the same, and I've also spoken to other female mom/wife friends who feel the same. I don't even know how to start explaining how or why we think it, other than the whole women are from Venus, men are from Mars thing. It's just how we're differently wired. If anything, it's how both men and women are conditioned as they grow up. The lived experiences that they go through are the ones that really shape how then they kind of move away from those stereotypes or adapt to and then try to see it from the other point of view and, oh, maybe I can do this instead. But other than that, yes, I think it's a stereotype that men could possibly
like compartmentalize better.
As full-time working moms, it's not just an emotional thing for me. My role, I was an executive assistant and a team coordinator for over 10 years. I have to take care of other people's stuff, other people's lives. I felt very passionate about it. And we used to joke with my fellow EA colleagues, oh, we always settle our bosses' work travel or even their own personal travel. And our own families' holiday plans are always the last. And that was a natural thing. My husband, when he takes leave, he literally doesn't need to log in. If the sky is falling, someone would pick up the phone and call him. But then there's that, right? It has to reach that point.
Yeah.
Whereas in my case, I would have official leave in the system. I would have my out of office message very clearly communicated when I'm away and stuff like that. But people would still be messaging me as if, and this is across all industries, even if it's not my direct bosses, there would still be other people related to them, but related to my world as well, that would still leave messages, DM me.
Oh, I hate that.
Yes, I can make that conscious choice to not respond to them, right?
Yeah.
Can we? And I do. I think after a few years and when I've gained more confidence in what I bring to the table, I have gained that point where, nope, you can wait. But then there are also instances where I'm like, or even if I say I can wait, I will go on. So let's say even if you have a day in the zoo, right? Okay, my kids are like, hey, mom, no, I'm feeling the elephant, so whatever. And then in my head, okay, this person wants this thing. I don't have to respond today or tomorrow maybe, but what am I going to do? I need to come up with those ideas in my head. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm looking at them, oh, look at this elephant or whatever. My mind is completely there. And it can happen also if, let's say, you get that precious, rare dinner date with your husband where it's just the two of us and I'm still working. Again, he can shut off when he wants, and he knows that if he needs to be reached, someone would just call him. If you email message, I've put my out of office, whatever, it's like, and there's someone to cover him. Whereas for me, it's like, there's no real coverage. There is, as a company, of course, they try to put in a process to it, but in actual lived reality,
maybe you hold the information or
because of the role, there's all that nuances. Oh, but actually, there's
all the moving parts that you are aware of. It's kind of hard to tell someone else all the moving parts. It's case by case as well, right? And then how do you anticipate all the different instances and tell the person that's covering you?
Exactly.
It's difficult.
Those are the struggles. We were talking about compartmentalizing and stuff. I think that is the problem where we can't shut off one area of our lives. But somehow, do you realize that it doesn't go the other way? So what I mean is, we bring work back home. But we don't really bring home to work. I don't bring my kids to work ever. I get childcare arranged, whether it's with helper or grandparents or childcare in kindergarten. Firstly, I mean, physically you don't bring, but you also don't be in a situation where you don't perform because, oh, what's my kid eating right now? You know what I mean? But sometimes you get check-ins from teachers or from any other carers who are helping you take care of your kid while you're at work. But it's different.
I think only, and this is interesting also, now that you mention it, only when it's an emergency, right? When it's
sick, then
you must be picked up. But that's the thing. Why is it only when it's a real emergency that home comes into work and not the other way around as well? Only when a real emergency at work, then it comes. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same.
I've got that feedback from my kids. Like, Mom, why are you looking at your phone? Right? You finished work already, right? Like, why are you not playing with me? I've gotten that. And
so this is okay. I think I read this somewhere. if you were to have a KPI set by your kid,
Oh God.
what do you think it will look like? I'll go first, okay? So if I had a KPI based on my daughter, I think my daughter would probably want me to read her, I don't know, 20 books a day or something ridiculous. I have counted and we have hit 10, 15 books a day. Yeah.
That's amazing.
No, but at the end of it, I'm like, why do I feel mad? So one of my daughter's KPIs will probably be the number of books read and maybe how much time I spend being fully present with her. She won't know how to say it in so many words, but I'm just trying to think in her lens what it would
I get
be.
it.
And maybe the last one, let's see, if it's 3 lah. It's a nice number, right? Maybe how much sugar
Oh,
more objection.
times mom says yes compared to no.
Yeah. For my son, I think how many times I let him have boo. I think just one and only KPI. What do you think your kids'
Oh,
KPIs?
that's cool. I think something similar with your daughter as well. And like you say, time spent present.
Yeah.
They definitely watch me when I'm not. I have to let them know what I'm using the phone for.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they think that I'm scrolling. But even the other time, oh my goodness, I was having a nice coffee. I mean, we were at a coffee shop with my older daughter while waiting for the younger one to complete her dance class. And we were having such a nice quiet moment, right? I let her have a donut. Okay, you get this treat and like it's nice to spend one-on-one time. And then suddenly she asked me about, I don't know how it came about, she asked me about polar bears. And I said,
Very specific stuff.
What do you find polar bears in North Pole or something like that? And coincidentally, I was watching this show quite recently, and it was a new fact to me that polar bears are only in the North Pole. You can't find it in South. So suddenly when she brought it up, then I remembered, and I was like, oh, hey, I have something to share with my daughter. Haha. You know, I can do this. I can be the smart parent to share this piece of information. But then it led on to the next question. And then I realized, okay, now I'm tired. Now I don't. We were having such a nice, cozy, and then I went into this whole thing.
Like a can of worms.
Yeah.
I mean, good can of worms, I guess.
But you know, I feel like that actually fills their cup. That is that kind of attention that she wants from me. And I think similarly, my youngest daughter has started asking the questions. Even on the religious, what, we can't see Allah and all that. And that one, she gave it to me at bedtime. So I was just like,
wow, it's so loaded.
I know.
There's something about bedtime and like loaded questions or loaded lines that they just spring on you. And I'm just like, whoa. I mean, I'm sure there's some signs to it. They feel more relaxed and comforted and they are ready to be vulnerable and share and all of that. But at the same time, our minds at bedtime is just please go to sleep as soon as you can so we can chill and check out. But instead, we are fed these loaded lines or questions.
I mean, sometimes I remind myself, okay, she's only 4. She just needs to know a fact. She doesn't need to do the whole philosophical thing about it today, tonight, this moment. I am definitely on my toes because now they're at that curiosity stage where they ask actual questions that needed actual answers. I was just talking to another mom the other day about how I realized, we've definitely passed the baby stage, kind of passed the toddler stage, now it's the child stage. So a lot of things are new to me as well because I've never actually parented an actual child.
Like preschooler,
I've known these kids for like 4 or 5 years now, but they were babies.
They're not like this version.
This is new.
This questioning version.
Yes, so it's always something new. And granted, I'm not the only one. I mean, I'm sure yourself and every single parent out there is facing the same thing, especially with their firstborns as they reach that new stage. It just keeps you on your toes, you know? But back to your question about like what sort of KPIs. I think that quality time, right? That definitely, even if you're physically with them, what does that mean? But I think they're also smaller. Now that I'm parenting a child, I feel like my firstborn, she's definitely left her toddler stage behind. Sad. It makes me feel sad, but at the same time, like, I'm embracing it. And I think it's cool that she is growing up. So usually when I drop her off for her dance practice, she's like, okay, bye, mom. You know, she sees her friends there. Bye, mom. And off she goes. And she feels that it's her happy space. And it makes me feel happy that she feels safe and happy there. And I trust the teachers and the environment and all that. But I think that day she was tired. And I think that also reminds you, right? How you're not the only adult who's tired, but we push through.
Yeah.
And then as a child, they get tired as well.
Yeah, harder for them to push.
Yeah, so she fell asleep in the car as I was driving her there. And for me, that is the the worst thing.
Oh,
So usually I try to get her engaged. It's just that when I have to wake her up in the car and then to go wherever we need to go, even if it's to do something fun like go outdoors to play, it's still hard. Oh, no. That day when I had to drop her off for class, she had fallen asleep and she was so tired. And suddenly she was not her usual self, where she said, "Mommy, can you stay?" I said, okay. Although at the back of my head, I'm like, this is supposed to be my one-on-one time with your sister while you are occupied. I was like, okay, she needs me. Like, that's kind of the emotional support that they need.
yeah. I guess it's more surprising when the emotional needs pop up because they seem so fine, and then suddenly they really need you in that way, and you're like, okay, I'm needed now, activated.
When they grow up and exert more independence from you in whatever way that is, and then they succumb to you for that emotion, and then you kind of forgot, like, actually she's just a little child who still needs some mom support. So I hope I pass in that way. And then other things, I mean, I've had some other cheeky comment. There was one time she said, "Mommy's a good girl today." Am I? I think because I said, "Oh, you're such a good girl."
She responded
I
back.
said, "Oh, Mommy's a good girl." "Oh, really? Why? Why today?" I said, "Because she never scold me." I just, okay.
She's 5, right? Or 6
And
this
she's
year.
turning 6 now.
Turning 6. Oh.
And I had at the back of my head, no, I wanted to respond, "Well, Sophia, if you just listen to me and don't do wrong,
Yeah, I'm not gonna scold you.
I have to like bite my tongue."
I know. Just take it. Okay, she's happy with me. Just take it instead of like.
Oh, speaking of that, I think I just remembered something. It's not related about that work and home divide. And then what just sprang up. This was very recent. Yeah, my daughter had a bit of a boo-boo in public, in accident. And she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mommy." So I said, "It's okay." I felt like, hey, it was truly an accident and it could have happened anywhere, yeah. So I was like, "It's okay, let's just go fix it." And after we were done, I said, "Sophia, you don't have to apologize." She said, "Yeah, you're my superhero, Mommy."
Oh, it's like when they have the vocabulary to say this thing, it's like, oh my god.
But that experience was a bit of PTSD. I'm not even sure how to articulate it because I've heard the exact same word at work. And at work, I felt it was not sincere. So when she said to me, I felt, of course, like a love mom. A mom who was seen by her own children. I'm here to take care of you and make sure you're safe and okay and grow up well and all that things. Because sometimes, you feel like, do they even care or appreciate you, right?
Yeah.
But that moment was so touching, but I felt I had a bit of a wall. When I was at work, and given my previous role, whenever I help someone, they would say exactly those words. "Thanks, Farah, you're a superhero."
Oh.
I mean, I get that gratitude and show of appreciation, but at the same time, I also think, you just say, like, sometimes I would even mutter. I remember during those days, I don't need to be a superhero. I'm not a superhero. I just really do.
And okay, so like I'm just thinking like back at work. I mean, it's been a while, but I remember thinking when you help somebody and they respond to that, in my head, I'm like, would you even have done the same for me? Would you even have helped me in the same capacity if I needed your help? Sometimes it's role related, right? You're literally doing your job, so that's why you need to help them. And sometimes some people would dodge it as much as possible. So you're like, just doing my job. But,
Yes.
yeah.
So I hated that in such landmark, touching, I'm probably going to remember this for a while moment. But I had
kind of polluted.
I was like, not that word.
Yeah.
It actually brought back a trivial, no comment. Because when I was helping her out with it, it just felt like, I have to do this, right? Well, I'm the responsible adult helping you here. But she was very, very grateful because, I mean, otherwise, you also get the other side of kids on a bad day.
Anything but grateful.
Yes.
Let's find the hardest way to do this. Yeah. Yep.
So 1.5 years on, almost 2. And some feelings are still there.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Why are these
It's like a
feelings
bad relationship.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, you moved on, but
But when you think of it, you're like,
remember.
yeah. It's interesting because sometimes when you think back to the working world, there's a lot of it. Yeah, it is so layered. There's a lot of it at play. There's about you being responsible and trying to do your job the best way that you can. But there's also the other part where you also know no one's indispensable. If you leave the job, someone else going to replace. So there's that distance. But when you're in it, it takes up so many hours and so much of your mental space. It takes up all of you, but you know you're replaceable. So it's kind of like Stockholm syndrome, kind of. Right?
And I also think I've been in a situation or in an environment rather where I was made aware that some women, mothers,
Yep.
choose to work not because they need the money. Sometimes I kind of, when I say that, oh, I stopped working and stuff like that, some people engage me in conversations about it. I don't share in a way where I think, oh, everybody should do it.
Yeah. It's going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. Yeah.
But I mean, I've met some moms who are questioning, hey, you know, I'm thinking doing the same, especially those, because I'm not sure what they want from me.
Yeah.
I am definitely here to lend you a ear and support, and I'm sure there are many situations where I have been there and feel you, but ultimately it needs to be because it's a huge decision. One thing is that loss of very practical reason is
Finances.
Yes,
Straight up. Yeah.
and I'm hereby acknowledging that I am very lucky that our family, my husband is handling that at the moment. And thank you, husband.
Yeah. Thank you, Taufik.
Really
Our husband.
You are our superhero.
He's not taking the wrong way.
Yeah. Sometimes there is no choice to it.
Yeah.
You want to be more present with your, but like having to work and earn that income is literally the survival bread and butter for your family as well. And I totally acknowledge that. I respect all working mothers who do that. Yeah, see, I feel a sense of uneasiness and guilt talking about because I know that it's not
A lot of women want to do it. But
Yeah. Or in my case, maybe I could have done this from much earlier on, but I didn't want to, right? Because remember how I shared with you that during both maternity leaves, I was also very lucky to get 8 months maternity leave each time. Very blessed. Comes at a price though when you come back to work, but never mind. Yeah, but maternity leave, I remember after 3-4 months, I was like, why would anyone stay at home just to be with their babies? I was the complete opposite. It was just also an identity or a way of life that I was used to. So, of course, there's a lot of changes that I had to anticipate, think about before making this decision to stop working and leave the corporate world behind for now. And even when I have those things to anticipate, to actually live it when you exit and enter this.
Yeah. It's a whole other thing, isn't it?
Yeah, to live it is also like, oh, that's a whole other thing to process and really internalize. It's a very personal decision. Yeah, I am still very happy, feeling very blessed that I get to be where I am now. And again, because of reasons where I find that, my family has
more of you.
Yeah, and I could be more useful. Do I feel useless just because I'm not bringing in money to our joint account now? Are we spending it for? No, I don't actually.
Yep.
And obviously, it also leads to open conversations with your spouse, and that has helped. So it isn't just about my identity as a woman or as a mother when I made this decision, but it was also, funny enough, to help my marriage.
Yep.
Yeah, because I felt when I was a working mom, I could do. Well, when I was a working, even without children, it's like I have my own money. I do whatever I want.
Yeah. I agree. So I
And my
feel
husband knows that too.
yeah. So like when we have to lean into our roles, lean into our partners more. Again, not that we're helpless. It's just different roles, and you need to hold each other for support more so Yeah, and it's true. I feel first year postpartum was wild. Marriage was wild. But beyond that, I think not working for me and my husband, same for you, I think it has helped our marriage a lot. I fully trust that, he can do it. He's there, like our finances and everything. He's counting on me to be there for the kids and their milestones and updating him about what's up with our kids and what's the new thing. It's kind of nice that we both have our own different roles. Whereas previously it's more of equality. But I'm 50-50. Yeah, 50-50 everything. But like emotional labor, mother's nurturing versus dad's role to the kids, that's never going to be 50-50. For me, I was very different from you. From maternity, in my head, I was like, oh my God, I can't imagine going back to work and leaving my baby behind and everything that comes with that. I cannot even imagine that. So I just wanted the time and space to be with just me and my baby and the headspace to focus on that and to grow into the role of a mother. It comes with its own cons, but that was me. I
Maybe
know.
I'm a late bloomer in that sense.
No.
Maybe you figured that out. Like, hey, this is a huge responsibility and your new role that you need to add on to in existence to what you already
Whatever.
are.
Yeah.
And you figure out, and I was just like, okay, I need to keep this baby alive. But then, like, okay, after that, what? But anyway, when I realized, okay,
It's a lot. If you're talking to a working mom who's considering to take a break, unsure what they're going to do, you said earlier that it's a very personal decision. What will you tell that mom? Because I wouldn't want to like influence her to my choices so much. So
exactly.
yeah, so it's not like my way or highway kind of thing. It's more of like what's right for you. You don't know what's their marriage like.
And every family, even if the mom remains a working mother and is very successful at it, there's so many women I know who are still doing that, right?
Yep.
And who raise such amazing children. Like, I have a close friend. She used to be working full time, and now she says she's working part time. But honestly, I think she's working even overtime. Really?
Oh, no. Was she compensated fairly?
No. Yes.
Like monetarily?
Okay. About that.
Okay.
And she's taking care of her elderly parents as well.
Oh, wow.
And she has 3 young children that she also has to take care of them. So I am also very glad that I have role models like that to look up to, or like sounding board, like what do you think and things like that. Of course, at the end, whatever she shares about her situation, it's up to me. What do I take of it? What do I want to do with that knowledge about what I can do in a similar way or not? So I think having conversations is so useful.
Yeah.
And I think as adults, we all know that, just because one person says she did it like this and she does this means I have to copy whole scale.
Yeah. I mean, we're all adults.
Yeah.
Like, we know that's not.
Yeah, exactly. I feel you can take the opinion or their thoughts about something, and then I'm sure you already know in that conversation what is a positive, like, I like that. And whether you can take that and is that something that you can use in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, this applies to everything. Right?
Yeah.
I approach it as that, but like I said earlier, I'm just definitely more cautious about how I bring it up.
Yeah, I agree. No, but then like a working mom who's approaching, let's say, one of us to talk about this, I would assume that they are coming with an open mind already. It's not unsolicited advice. They're literally coming to you to ask your perspective and what do you think, how was it like for you, and stuff like that. So the tangent of the conversation is slightly different already. Maybe they're surveying, right? They're wanting to know how it's like for different moms and, like you said, what they can pick and apply for themselves.
And I don't feel like I'm in any authority to talk about it. Yeah. Which is sometimes weird. And then sometimes I'm doing this podcast, but I wish I just wanted to. One, it's I think getting out of my comfort zone, and it was so nice to reconnect with you again. And like, I want to see school and stuff like that. Doing something out of my comfort zone, which is something that I really value even now.
Personal growth.
Yeah. And I think having also heard all your other podcasts from all the other moms with different
stories.
Yeah, it has been really enriching because, again, I take from their lessons what I can, and like, even just get new perspectives. I've never thought of that one.
Yeah.
So I think it's useful, and I hope that in some way that this could be useful to anyone.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Great job to what you.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I think it's always about, there's really so many ways to do motherhood and parenting. And I think as long as just hearing about other people's experiences and you're like, that's interesting. I want to try and apply that. Or, no, that will not work for my daughter. You just can listen yourself, what you want to try, what you don't want to try. But also at the back of your mind, for me at least, it makes me think of the idea of flexibility. There's so many ways to do things. Especially when I was a brand new mom, I really felt in my brain that there's only one way to do certain things. I'm like, no, I've done all my research. This is the best way to do. Yeah, but my kid's not like this textbook kids. Then like, how am I, like, you know?
So actually, now that you brought it up, I had to laugh because right till this day, it's still happening. Sometimes over the weekend when my husband is at home, right, he's like, I want to help. I love, thank you, I appreciate that he's always telling me, no, I want to help. So this is my weakness, okay? I admit. Then I would say, okay, but at the same time, I'm like, you know?
Hard to let go. Like,
Yeah. And he did. I mean, because I feel like now we're at the stage where we really are just so open with each other. Like sometimes like just at night after the kids have gone to bed and we're in bed and we're just decompressing and he's like, you need to stop being in my ear about everything and I don't blame him. It is, I acknowledge it is a weakness. It is possibly something that I may have taken with me from my work.
I was just going to say for your mom, because I think for me, it's like for my mom.
No, I don't. Can't comment on that. But I don't know. For me, I feel like because at work, or at least how I've kind of managed my work, I remember last time was like, okay, this is my space. So even if I teach someone, I'm like, okay, this is how I think it's best to do it. Why?
Yeah.
Your pasal when you
want to do it, go try.
You know, but there's kind of again, you know how when you bring work home, but you don't bring home and stuff like that. It's similar in this way where at work you feel like, okay lah, this person is off doing their own thing really, then you can let go. But at home with your
you must do this.
Yeah, or even with your parents sometimes, right? When you say no, whatever, and then of course what the grandparents do. I mean, they mean well. That's the thing.
They're supposed to spoil the grandkids.
Yeah.
That's their role.
It annoys.
Yeah, I know. But we carry the consequences.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's hilarious because, so that's definitely one of my weaknesses. I feel because I feel like I am the queen of this home.
Yep. I understand. Gotcha.
And this kingdom household.
Yeah, they run a certain way.
Yeah, a process and rule as well at home. And it worked.
I realized, so there's this, oh gosh, now I can't remember, but there's this whole movement where it's about chores and the mental load of kinship. It's on the women and how to do it equally and not in the sense of equality, but how to share the load of homemaking with the partner. So one of it was about not having to support your partner, meaning if let's say today is your husband's role to do breakfast, right? So from start to end of breakfast, they own it. So you don't come in to save, let's say to do the dishes. So there's many benefits to doing that. One, obviously, your partner will take full ownership. They will have to take full ownership of that. So they need to know where the ingredients are, not that you lay out all the ingredients for them and they just make the eggs. Or they just leave the place in a mess and then you clean up the dishes. So they literally need to know from A to Z of that particular task, how it's done, how it's executed. So I read about that probably within my first year postpartum. I realized, okay, I need to let go. If my husband wants to use the ingredients that he wants to use, he will have to use it. I'm just using the making breakfast as an example. If he wants to wash a certain way that's slightly different from me, I need to let go. Ultimately, the dishes are clean, things like that.
And we are very sorry, husband. We really appreciate the support. It's an innate thing.
Yeah, it's great that they did that.
But it's so hard because I'm very sure if I'm a working mom, it will remain that way. So now I'm not working and I'm not letting go because now it has been communicated between your partner and you that, okay, this is my full responsibility, right? And I'm willing to do that.
Yep.
And then it's fine, right? So he has his role and I have my role and I see it as complementing such that our family can run in a circle. Works. But then when someone wants to help, I mean, I'm just trying to understand. I can never do his job for him.
Yeah.
I do not understand his industry. I can never do his work, but at the same time, it's not fair. So now this is my work.
Yeah. Got it.
And he knows that I take on definitely a lot more than what I did as a working mom.
Yeah.
Again, when I say that, I feel it's not fair to working.
I know, because a lot of working moms do have to do this as well.
That's
so
very hard. But,
but let's comparatively to you working then.
So when he wants to do or help me out at my job, he can. Let's acknowledge it.
Yeah.
He can. What I'm doing, it's not medical science.
Yeah.
But there's still nuances.
Yeah.
And is that okay if he doesn't prepare the eggs, the breakfast a certain way, and then child goes, I don't want it, I want there's something else, right? And then you're supposed to sit back and go like, I told you. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to just, okay, you do breakfast, so I'm just going to, I don't know, do something else. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? But you hear.
I know. And you just want to swoop in and be like, no, this is how it's done so that she will eat her food. You just want to.
Yeah. I'm so bad.
But like, I feel it's also good to like let your kid be used to something different.
Actually, yes.
Yeah. You know,
when you put it in that perspective, deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, what are you going to do? The eggs are a bit different. Like, when we eat outside, when we travel, the eggs are going to be a bit different. You're not going to eat eggs at all. We kind of want to cater everything to them.
It's all right. When I look at it from the kid's point of view, deal with it.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about our parents for a bit. Okay. So we talked about it when you came, like before we started recording, we touched on it a bit. What's your situation like right now with your parents? Now that you're not working, you also mentioned earlier that you have a bit more time to be with your parents. What has that been like for you?
Lovely and blessed to begin with. I mean, I think I always forget that we always also have that relationship with our parents that just always changes. Like now that I think about it, like the relationship has really evolved. Yeah. Like, I'm still digesting it myself, and I have so much love and gratitude for my parents. Oh no, I'm getting teary just thinking about it. I think this was something that made me reflect, because I also read something somewhere. You know when we say, oh, generational trauma. Yeah. Oh, I'm healing from my childhood, or I'm breaking certain
cycles.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get that. I acknowledge that. I definitely agree that some things that were okay in the past, it's great that it's being talked about as not okay today, and like how do we do better about it. But at the same time, I think it could be a Western thing that is starting to translate more into our culture, where it almost like when we talk about all that is still okay because you're trying to improve a society and a community. It makes us sound like, oh, we don't love our parents. Yeah. They didn't do things. Because like I had the best childhood. I am so grateful for everything I've got to experience. And then similarly, if you were to take someone else's example, let's say yours, or even like my husband's childhood was completely different. And yet, he grows up now thinking he had the best childhood as well. So there's no one way of like describing the best childhood that you have. But at the same time, what is it that ties us to then saying that we had the best childhood, right? I think it's that feeling of love, that acceptance. But at the same time, now that I'm a parent myself, there are some things where I feel like, oh yeah, maybe didn't get some things from my parents that I hope wouldn't translate to my children. I'm saying this very well aware that my parents might be watching this. They're quite savvy. Oh. But knowing that when I do say that, it is in no way showing non-appreciation for what they have given me. Yeah. So let's start off with that.
And there's always that angle, right? Like that's the best that they knew you then.
Yes, I'm actually certain that was what they had. And then similarly, right, who's not to say our kids will grow up even though I'm like, hey, I left my career,
all these things.
Who's to say like my kid will grow up and say like, you know what, mom was like a bee or whatever.
Yeah. And honestly, like back then, just on knowledge alone, it's very one-dimensional. It's probably based on like what their parents did, what their siblings did, what their neighbors, the people around them did, and what is the average of all of that. My parents didn't read too much. It's not like they're going to go to the library and read out all these child development books. I don't think that was the norm in terms of access, right? Compared to now where we see all sorts of information on Instagram alone, forget all our additional research where we deep dive or whatever. Yeah, like just Instagram feed alone, that's like a lot of information being flooded already. So that's just what they knew, and it would have been the average of all the experiences that they see. And that's why I guess we all have like some similarities also from childhood, right? Because most of them, their reference points is just what's around them.
I mean, now my parents are definitely aging.
Yeah.
Definitely in the aging population. My dad has had a medical issue that I guess is, I mean, he was diagnosed with lung cancer recently. And it all happened really quickly because I guess when you do find out something and you want to help your family member as soon as possible, and you know, I think with prayers to Allah, everything just turned out the way it's supposed to be. Of course, my mom is his main
person.
I wanted to say caretaker, but you know, she's really his partner. It also makes me like, because me and my husband had conversations about, hey, well, we bicker about how you make breakfast. But at the end, like, a few years, like who knows, right? And then it's gonna be us taking care of it. Like that's why we got married. Also, not just like for our kids and stuff, right? All these process about just being able to be there for my parents with the hospital visit for my dad has made me reflect on that. And yet we still go on with our lives. But I think there's always that reminder there, like, hey, at the end of it, who's gonna take care of you? I really hope that my parents see that I don't even need anything from them, but you know, that they see that, hey, by me just kind of even bringing you somewhere, if even not to see the doctors, but just to like have a meal together now because I have the time to, and the means to, that it is our way of showing love back to them. I think we were discussing this before, right? About how I think the older generation, I grew up with parents who definitely show me love. They give me kisses on my cheeks and hugs. But I think in general, the mood was, they were definitely more stoic. I don't know, is it a culture thing, generational thing?
Probably a mix of both.
A mix of both. They see how I'm definitely more affectionate and emotional with my kids. So like when my children tell them, Nene, I love you, Nene, I miss you. My mom goes like, you know, she said that. No, and I say, good, because she does. She does love you and she does miss you. I think my mom was just not used to hearing it out loud. I'm sure some people our age could relate to this. It was just things that you don't verbally think of.
I remember when I read how every generation tries to break their own, and then that was like a big moment for me, and I'm like, wait. I thought about my mom and I'm like, yeah, like she tried to break some stuff from back when she was a kid. She didn't want to bring whatever it was to her relationship with me. And sometimes that doesn't get the credit because again, we are just so focused on what our parents were like with us and all the negative stuff. And now I'm a parent, I can do better and We take on that approach. Firstly, our kids are still young, nowhere near adulthood. And like, we have no idea what kind of parents we're going to be. Yeah, we have no idea what's to come. But also there's that other element where they tried their best because we can only assume that every parent wants the best for their kid. So still troubleshooting, like they're still, I mean, with my mom, like my parents hitting 70 this year, and me in like my mid-30s, it's going to be their first time having a you know what I mean? So their first time having a kid with 2 young kids, their first time
going like, lah budak ni dia buat macam ni, okay lah.
And managing that dynamics is all fresh dynamics for them also. At 70, having to deal with fresh dynamics. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Using a new type of phone.
Exactly.
It just made me recall that my mom is still working full time.
Oh wow!
I have the utmost respect for my mom. She had never taken a break except for annual leave time. School holidays.
Which is like negligible.
In my entire lifetime, she's always been a working mom, and I can never say she abandoned me. And I think now that I brought it up, I think part of the reason why I never thought about being a stay-at-home mom before this was because I look up to my mom. She did it.
Yeah, she did it.
Turned out okay, right? I know I could be better, mom. I know, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
she did it, so why can't I? And I think when I first decided, when we made the decision with my partner first,
Yeah.
and decided to break the news to my mom, I was genuinely nervous. Part of it is because that's not who she is.
Yeah.
So of course she was like, "Are you sure?" And I, oh my god, if I can only be half the mom that my mom is to me, wow, that would be quite an achievement for me, because I feel like you say, like when, like as our kid grows up, as parents, we still become the first time parent of a child,
Whatever age.
teenager. Yeah, and I think with me especially. She's had so much challenges, and she had to pivot really quickly to make sure that she can still keep that relationship with me. And I think I can successfully say that she's done that. When I first broke the news to her that, I am gonna start working for her, I think inside I wouldn't be surprised if she's like, "What?" Like,
Yeah.
"Are you sure that's the right thing to do?" Blah blah blah. But she's like, okay, she took it with stride. I think one of the moments, and it happened by accident, maybe last Raya or one of those large family gathering things, was when someone was asking, "Oh, Farah, so are you still working here?" I said, "Oh no." And they said, "Oh, then where are you working now?" But again, like, I don't really
Man, this conversation is like
when you know-
sticky.
I know where it comes from with
Yeah, it's sticky.
Ramadan and Hari
Yeah.
coming up. And I said, "Oh no, I'm not working. I took time off, right?" And suddenly out of nowhere, and the thing is, my mom and I, we don't talk like that to each other at all. So I felt like that was her being a superhero to me.
Oh.
She came into the conversation and go like, "Oh, dia nak jaga anak sendiri," which in my head, we have never spoken like that. But I think it was in a language where one makcik to another understood each other, and like, "Oh, okay." And suddenly, like, that kind of dissipated the awkwardness in the conversation. I feel like my mom came to my side.
Yeah. Back you up.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah.
and I think that made her also see things in a different way, maybe for herself. The reason why she's working is because as my parents age together, I would agree with this. If that's really what they feel, of course, they should speak for themselves. But I think that, just keeping you alert, that work, them mentally
Engaged and stuff.
and feel purposeful. So yeah, it's admirable. And who's to say one day I would not go back to work?
Yeah.
If the choice still remains with me, right, which is also a very privileged thing to have, I would never go back to the office. Or like in the environment where I was.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to a mom about it. Like, if you want me to do the actual work from home or whatever, like when my kids are asleep, I'll do it. The actual work, I will do it. No problem. But it's all the other...
Everything else that comes.
The toxic environment, everything.
It's not just the job scope. It's not just what you need to do. It's who you need to be working with. What does the environment stand for? Does it gel with you? What's your boss like? It's so many things. It's not just executing ABC.
They want the actual job.
Okay.
No problem. I mean, it comes with its challenges, but we will work on that.
Yeah.
But I just don't want all the other things. I do bring it home, unfortunately. That's part of the stuff that I bring home as well.
Yeah.
And I am making that conscious decision not to bring it back home anymore. Then can someone then say, "Oh, then she's not resilient enough"? I would be, okay, you can say what you want to say, but I would actually silently yet confidently say, "I don't think you know the amount of strength and confidence that is needed to make this decision and really roll with it and be happy with it."
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I feel so sure in myself. And so the next Hari is going to come out, people are like, "Oh, what are you doing now?" I no longer feel...
I know. It's not. No, like I remember when it first happened, I was like, I don't really want to say that I'm a stay-at-home mom. Like, I didn't want to say it. I didn't want everything else that came with it. I know sometimes like people are judging, but I feel sometimes it's also just me projecting my weird stuff about this new identity.
Even in this environment, outside of work environment, you can find yourself in an environment that is not very healthy, toxic, or like full of judgment, and I think we can choose to avoid ourselves from those conversations.
Yeah, I mean, like, if people want to perceive you or whatever way, like, you are selling yourself short by not getting the opportunity to know me, to know the full breadth of what I am, and to know that that is not just everything that I am. It's your loss. So, it's a long journey to get here.
There's really some way to reflect about what our parents have done for us. Again, some folks may not have had the most fortunate of childhoods, right? I acknowledge that, but I think let's just stop in like your average family who grew up normal,
pretty decent,
fine, but yet they still talk about Bruce, this and that, as if
there's no good that you know, the average parent.
So that's taking me back a bit, and I think it's just this whole experience where I've had to be with my parents a bit more now. That sometimes feel like, but I stopped working for 1.5 years already, but actually I should have already been taking them out more often, even before my dad's medical emergency. So it's always a learning lesson.
Aging and like illness. Recently, Taufik's grand auntie, she's really ill, and I had to see her in the hospital. And I'm not too close to her, but it's always something very sobering, right? I was really sad as well for whatever little relationship I had with her. It still makes me sad compared to, obviously, to her kids. That would be like, vastly different levels of loss and grief. But it's still a very sobering reminder, and you're like, wow, at some point this is going to be it. It's going to be it for our parents. It's going to be it for us. If we are really unfortunate enough that it's our kid that goes before us, which no parent ever wants, that's also another whole thing to consider. So every time there's like illness or death or whatever, it's always like such a shock to the system. But I feel like these shocks are also needed to get us like snap out of it. Like whatever your problems were, whether it's like my daughter kicking a fuss about what dress to wear, it is still ultimately what dress she wants to wear compared to the gravity of other things that's out there. So sad, really sad. Sobering reminders that we do need. How do we wrap this up? Well, I guess. Let's put it this way. Okay, let me think. Let me think as well. Okay, what will you tell yourself as a first-time mom, as first-time brand new mom, like thinking back to how you were with your first daughter? With what you know and what you've experienced right now, what would you want to tell her?
Oh gosh. Firstly, girl, COVID will end. I was so focused in this, like, I just gave birth to a baby. I felt like it was such a traumatic birth with my first. I felt like it was quite a traumatic birth story. What's going on? So I'm always so inward in my own freaking bubble, even though that bubble is not roses and rainbows. I think if I were to have seen myself the way I reacted, I would also be like, get a grip. We'll be okay. Enjoy this time you have. There's a lot of like WTF moments.
Well, there will always be WTF moments.
Even up to this point. Just enjoy that moment, because now I see baby photos of her. I feel sad. I'm so happy that I have her as she is now. I think she's such a beautiful, both my girls are inside and out. They are so full of personality and character, and even as a big child where I can't carry her anymore, but I can like give her a big hug. I'm so blessed for that. But I could probably use one day of just having
baby food.
Very unpopular opinion, but I wouldn't mind if we ever had that whole stay-at-home thing again with my kids at this age. I would have this is driving me crazy moment. But what I would do
all that time,
to have just us in all its craziness, I would take it. And then like work is work, man.
Work is work, like full stop.
Work is yes. Oh my god. Yes, I would love to do that. Work is work, full stop.
Okay. That's a lovely way to end this. Thank you, Farah, for coming today, for being here.
Thank you for being my sounding board.
Aw.
A nice reflection.
Yay, I'm glad.